Okay, so uh, you've really been digging into this RoleCatcher thing, huh?
It seems that way.
Yeah, it looks like you're really trying to get a leg up in this whole job search game. And hey, who can blame you?
Yeah.
Sending out resumes can feel like,
Like shouting into the void.
exactly, just tossing it out there and hoping for the best. But from the looks of it, you think this RoleCatcher could be the answer.
Well, it definitely seems like a potential game changer. I mean, they're really leaning into the AI angle, aren't they? Claiming it can actually analyze job descriptions on a way deeper level, even giving like personalized feedback and stuff.
Right. That's what caught my eye, too. It's like they're trying to crack the code, you know? Figure out the secret language of these job postings.
Yeah, exactly. And if it actually works as well as they say it
Game
does,
over.
game over, right? But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's back up for a sec. I mean, Rollcatcher's whole thing is streamlining the whole job search process,
Yeah.
finding those jobs, perfecting your resume, and even like acing the interview.
Yeah.
What really stood out to you about their approach?
Honestly, it's that they're addressing all the pain points. The endless scrolling through job boards, trying to make your resume stand out in a sea of applicants, the whole interview anxiety thing, they're tackling it all. And they're doing it with this like powerful combo of AI tools
Uh-huh.
and a crazy amount of resources. We're talking over 3,000 career guides, something like 13,000 online resources. And get this,
Don't tell me.
120,000 practice interview questions.
120,000. Are they
That's what
serious?
they're saying. It's like
Yeah.
they're coming for those interview coaches.
Right.
But let's break it down a bit. They have this jobs module that seems like it's more than your typical job board. So what's the deal with that?
It's like a job board, but on steroids. They pull in listings from a bunch of different places, but the really cool part is this thing called RoleCatcher.capture. It's a browser plugin. You can basically save any job posting you see with just one click.
Wait, so no more like a million tabs open or emailing yourself links?
Nope, it's all pulled into this board view. It's basically a dashboard, but like visual.
So kind of like a Pinterest board, but for jobs.
Exactly. You can see everything, organized and stuff, track your progress, even see how your skills match up, all thanks to that AI analysis we were talking about.
Speaking of, let's dig into the CV Resume Builder and Analysis module. They say it can analyze your resume based on specific job descriptions and pinpoint any gaps. But how does it actually do that?
That's where the whole natural language processing thing comes in. Remember how we were talking about the AI understanding what the job posting is actually getting at? They use that same kind of technology to look at your resume. And it's not just looking at keywords, it's looking for the deeper skills and experience that employers want.
So instead of just being like add project management to your resume, it would be more like,
Hey, you know that project you led where you had to manage a team and a budget? Highlight that.
whoa, it's like having a personal resume editor, but like one that can see what the employers see.
Right. And it gets even better. They have this other module called Career Compass. It's got these super in-depth guides for specific careers, common interview questions, alternative titles you might not even know about.
So not just the typical broad stroke
Mhm.
stuff.
They even had one for a twisting machine operator.
A what?
Right. I had to look it up.
Okay, so they're not messing around. They're getting into the weeds with this.
Hmm.
But why go into so much detail? What's the strategy there?
I think it all goes back to their whole thing about giving really personalized and useful advice.
Mhm.
It's not just like generic tips. They want to give you the exact knowledge and tools you need to kill it, even if the job is super specific.
So instead of just casting a wide net, hoping it catch something, you can really home in on exactly what you want and what you need to succeed. I like it.
Yeah.
But how does this all connect with the interview prep features? What's so special about how they handle that?
Well, first of all, they have a ridiculous number of practice questions, 120,000, remember?
Right, right.
But they also have AI-powered feedback on your answers with their Copilot subscription. It's like having a mock interview coach right in your pocket, listening and giving you tips.
So they bring that whole personalized AI thing to the interview too. I'm starting to see how this could be a game changer, especially for people who maybe, don't have access to fancy career coaches and stuff. But part of me is still a bit,
Skeptical.
yeah, it almost sounds a little too good to be true.
It's good to be skeptical, right? And to really figure out if it lives up to the hype, we need to go deeper, see how effective the AI actually is. Is it really understanding the nuances, or is it just a bunch of like fancy jargon?
Those are the million-dollar questions. And to get those answers, we need to really dig into how RoleCatcher works in action.
It really makes you think, like how could platforms like this, like RoleCatcher, actually change the job market in the long run?
It's almost like we're moving away from that spray and pray method of applying for jobs.
Right.
It's becoming more about strategy.
Totally. It's like that old saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. But now it's becoming more like.
It's not just what you know, but how you can explain it to a robot.
Exactly. And honestly, if this AI is even half as good as they're making it out to be, it could really level the playing field, especially for people who don't have those connections. Or maybe they don't have the resources to navigate that whole hidden job market.
Absolutely. Imagine, like, everyone having access to the same information,
Right.
knowing exactly what those employers are looking for, regardless of their background or whatever.
Be huge. Especially for people who've been, like, overlooked. You know what I mean?
Totally. No more relying on those vague job descriptions. No more hoping your resume makes it past those robot gatekeepers.
Hey, algorithms?
Right? You'd know exactly what skills to put front and center, how to present yourself. It'd be like having a cheat code for the whole job market.
I love that. A cheat code. But, and this is a big but, we have to consider the other side of that coin. What happens when everyone starts optimizing their resumes and applications for the algorithm?
Oh, I see what you're saying. So instead of everyone showcasing what makes them unique,
Right.
they're all just trying to fit into this AI-approved box.
Exactly. And then what happens? Everyone starts to sound the same. And when everyone's special.
No one is.
Exactly. And I wonder how employers are going to respond to that. Will they start, like, trusting their gut more, relying on that human intuition to cut through all the noise?
Because at the end of the day, it's more than just ticking boxes on a resume.
Right.
It's about finding the right fit,
The personality.
the culture, and you can't get that from an algorithm.
No way. And we can't forget about bias, right? Like we were talking about earlier. The AI is only as good as the information it's trained on. So if that data reflects existing biases in the job market, maybe favoring people from certain schools, certain backgrounds, then that bias gets amplified, even if it's not intentional.
That's such a good point. We've seen it happen with other AI before. It's so important for RoleCatcher and any platform like it to be developed responsibly. And being transparent is key.
100%. Like, users need to know how the algorithms actually work, what data they're using, what's being done to, like, counteract that bias.
It's bigger than the technology itself. It's about the ethics of it all.
Exactly.
So it sounds like there's a real balancing act. We've got to be open to the possibilities, but also be aware of the potential downsides.
Absolutely. And that's why I think it's more important than ever for people to know themselves, know their goals, their values. Don't let the algorithm tell you what to do. Let it be a tool.
Right.
But ultimately, you have to trust your gut.
So use the tech, but don't let it use you.
Now you're getting it. Speaking of using the tech, let's get practical for a minute. We've talked a lot about the potential impact, but what about actually using RoleCatcher effectively?
Let's do it. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. Okay, so we've talked about how RoleCatcher could shake things up, but let's get practical. If someone's listening thinking, all right, I'm sold, time to fire up RoleCatcher and unleash the job hunt.
Yeah.
Where do they even begin?
Before you unleash anything, I'd say the first step is surprisingly low-tech.
Oh, what do you mean?
Self-reflection. RoleCatcher has that career compass thing, right? With all those in-depth guides. But it's not much use if you don't know what you're aiming for.
Right, like what direction you want to go in.
Exactly. So before you even open the website, take some time. Think about your goals. What's important to you in a career? What do you actually want?
It's like if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there.
Right. But with job hunting, ending up on the wrong road can be a real pain.
Totally. Okay, so you've got your destination figured out. What's next? Do you just start sending your resume to anything that sounds remotely interesting?
Whoa, slow down there. Even with AI on your side, a generic resume is going to get lost in the shuffle.
So tailoring your application is still important, even with RoleCatcher.
Absolutely. Think of it like this RoleCatcher helps you speak the employer's language, but you still need to tell your story. Use those AI insights to make your story even stronger.
So use the tools, but don't become a robot.
Exactly. And when it comes to interview prep, that's where RoleCatcher can really shine.
120,000 practice questions. It's kind of mind-blowing.
Right. But there's a right way and a wrong way to use them.
Yeah, I was just thinking, you don't want to just be repeating canned responses. Interviewers can see right through that.
Exactly. Use the questions to really think about your experiences. How do they connect to what the job needs? The AI feedback can help you sound more polished, but your authenticity is what will really make you stand out.
So it's like a sparring partner, helping you get better, but you're the one in the ring.
Nailed it. And one last thing. Don't forget about networking.
Right. Even with all this tech, that human element is still key.
For sure. RoleCatcher has that network management feature, but nothing beats a genuine connection.
It's like we were saying before, algorithms can analyze data, but they can't replace real human interaction.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So, as you dive into the world of RoleCatcher, remember, have a plan, be yourself, and be open to the unexpected.
Love it. Well, this has given me a lot to think about.
Me too.
It seems like platforms like RoleCatcher have the potential to really change how we approach our careers, but we have to use them in a smart way.
Yeah.
Eyes wide open.
100%. We're kind of writing the future of work right now, and it's up to all of us to make it a good one.
That's a great point to end on. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. We hope you found it useful and maybe even a little bit exciting. And to everyone listening, keep learning, keep asking questions, and keep chasing those dream jobs.
Hear, hear.
Until next time.